Hello and welcome to 2025. Can you believe we are in for another big year? So today we are going to be covering just what's the general themes, what's going to be coming up in 2025, going into the collective Akashic records so that you can get a better idea of how to really navigate the year ahead. Of course, this is very generalized information because we are tapping into the collective energies. If you would like a detailed report and to ask questions in your individual records, of course, you can book in for a one-on-one session with me, or of course, you can come into the Lightworker Academy and learn how to access the Akashic records for yourself. So without further ado, let's really get into this. So make sure you've got a drink. We'll probably be here for a while once we are in the records. They tend to bring through a lot of information. So let's just do this together. I'm going to open the prayer here with you and we're going to go in. Now, if you're at home listening to this, make sure that you're just in a comfortable space that you can really receive all of the information that wants to come through. You may also start to get other messages coming through from your team of guides as well. So let's just take a breath, just ground our energy, just really tapping into all that wants to come through today, all that wants to be shared from the Akashic records perspective and point of view for our collective energy. So Mother God, thank you for coming to my aid and opening me up to receive wisdom, understanding, love, and compassion at this time. Please bring forth the truth in its purest form and guide me now. I call upon the Lords, Masters, Teachers, and loved ones of the true organic Akashic records now. I now request access to the collective Akashic records. I now request access to the collective Akashic records. I now request access to the collective Akashic records. Just setting the intention to go into the true organic Akashic records of the collective to receive information for the year ahead. Just feeling that shift as we just go up into the records now. The first piece of information that we would like to bring forth with you today is that there will continue to be several shifts and splits over the coming 12-month period. We do not like to say this is the beginning of a new year, as we do not see your linear calendar year in the same sense. But the information that we would like to bring through today is to help and assist all in the collective, but particularly we speak to many of the light workers, as that is who is listening and tuning into these messages. We have much to share and to help you deliberate over the course of the next 12 months and what would like to come through. We begin by asking you to sit up tall. We ask you to do this so that you can start to be your own unique channel. When we are hunched over, our energy flow is hindered, and we would like you all to receive as much as you possibly can from this conversation today. Over the course of the next 12 to 24 months, the world as you know it will change significantly. What stands before you today will look very, very different within the next 12 to 24 months. We can only speak in larger terms and perspectives because, as many of you know, timeline shifts are always happening and course corrections are always happening. But you are on the verge of great change. As many will be aware, it is a year 9. And with that will become the last piece of completion. This is a year of completion in esoteric terms. This is also the year of the snake. Much shedding, much transformation will take place. It is important as the collective moves forward to allow these shifts to happen. Many are still clutching on to the old. Many are clutching on to what they have once known, holding on tightly and firmly to establish control, to establish a connection to what they've always known. This keeps many in the collective stuck in karmic patterns, in these cycles of doom and gloom. It is much easier for you to allow to let go. We understand that this is us speaking in very broad terms, and it is easier said than done. We understand the experience that humans have at this time and how difficult that transition has been. For many of you, you have been doing this work, particularly quite heavily over the last 4 years. That has been the collective energy. It is very important over the next coming 12 to 24 months that we start to allow this process to just simply be and to work through us, letting go of any attachment that we have, letting go to any sense of needing to hang on to the old. Much about your earth and much about your communities is going to drastically change. This is the time that we have been preparing you for. It has been a long process of healing. We are coming to the end of a 26,000-year cycle. We will come back into the new age eventually, but this is the tedious process and the years of this final completion of transformation before we can reach this point of ascension and the turning of the tides in such form. What we offer you is support. What we offer you is now how to move forward. And the thing that we would like you to understand the most is that the more that you can surrender and let go, it is a sense of freedom. But for many, we are still programmed to believe that the freedom comes from what we already know. And we keep holding and gripping on to this sense of foundation, whereas the foundation needs to be completely wiped out and rebuilt. So the more that you can accept, the more that you can let go, the easier this process will be. For many of you tuning in, this will be the final piece, the completion piece. You have done much of the tedious work. You have done and been through cycle after cycle of healing, shedding, pulling back layers, looking at yourself. And so this year may feel much easier, much more peace within because you have done that work. For many, they are just going to be starting this cycle. And for those that are just starting this cycle, who are just awakening, they will go through a much quicker process. Those that have been awakened since 2012 and 2020 have gone through a very tedious cycle of learning, of breaking free. It is part of what they signed up for, that wave, to experience this way, to then go on to teach the new wave how to move through this at a much rapid rate. So those that are just going to awaken now will find that this process moves even quicker. They move through the ascension stages at an even quicker and rapid Great. They are going through their healing journey, and that is what they signed up for. They are the souls that signed up to go through an even rapid transformation. As we keep moving through the year, you will find it speeds up and speeds up and speeds up. This is not a year that things will slow down. Things will continue to intensify. The earth is recalibrating. She is getting herself ready for this pivotal point, the ascension point. We believe, and from what we can show you are future timelines, that this will happen within the next 5-year period. The next 12 to 24 months will be a very pivotal piece of this, and it will depend how the majority go through this period as to then how long we take to get to the next stage. We are simply showing you that it is all working in stages. Everyone is in position doing what they need to do. If there is any harboring feelings, if there is any doubt as to where you are supposed to be, rest assured that you are exactly where you need to be, what you have agreed to in your soul contracts and your blueprint. And it is time to understand divine timing. That if you feel behind, if you feel doubt, it is simply that you have put in place to put holds in at certain periods of your ascension, to learn lessons, to move through it. So let go of the time frame that you have subconsciously put upon yourself. Let go of the restrictions and let yourself be where you are right now, knowing that you will be moving forward. Everyone on this planet is moving forward. It is important to take out the time and focus on the moment. Keep coming back to, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to help me learn and to navigate my way through? These are going to be very pivotal questions to come back to time and time again through this period. We will see an uprising and a up leveling like we have never seen before through the next 3 to 6 months. Many transitions will be happening, many that have been receiving activations, that have been receiving light codes. As we all move up, as we all come and rise in frequency, there is a whole new bandwidth that is now going to emerge and be available. More and more light workers and light leaders will emerge with a clearer perception. It's like rising up above the dirt, rising up above the dust, and being able to see and have the perspective from this higher vantage point that will allow many to step into higher positions, to see and read the patterns of what is coming in and what they are then also then here to do. There is a opening coming for many to come and really step up into their much more pivotal soul work and mission work. What you have been doing in the past is merely at this level. As you come up, as we all keep coming up in frequency, there is new levels that are unlocking that you didn't know even existed before this point. And they're saying this is part of why we need to let go of this old that we keep holding on to, because so much is awaiting for you. So much is available at your fingertips. So much more growth and evolution is here, but we need to allow it to come in. We need to allow the space to receive this. And then we need to be able to move through this so that we can embody it. Many have ancient codes of wisdom that will come online through the next 12 months. With each of these, you will all go through a different initiation of some kind, bringing through the ancient wisdom, embodying it within you first, taking yourself through a new protocol, taking yourself through a new healing, taking yourself through some kind of transformation to then be able to share it with others. Many new modalities will be built on these foundations over the next coming few years. This is a pivotal time for humanity, for the collective. Much of this uprising, much change is upon you right now. We cannot reference enough how important, and it is a point we will continue to come back to just remind you how important it is that as we are on the verge of an old world collapsing and a new world emerging, we stand 1 foot on either side. Many will want to return to what is familiar, what they have always known. We are all conspiring in your favor to keep moving forward, to keep moving so that both feet can land in the new earth, so that we can all co-create this new earth together. But we have to be willing to take that step, and the step over from the familiar and what we know and what we think we control is then stepping all the way over. Many of you have been walking this dance, moving between the worlds for some time. You may even realize it within yourself. You move towards your higher self. You come into alignment. You feel with joy. You feel the euphoric feeling of light. You are being of service. You are in your purpose. And then you step back and then have doubts. The fears come in, the noise comes in. You maybe try to go back to an old job, an old partner, an old form. They're saying this is this dance that we have been doing. And we are now at this point where it's not going to be safe to go back anymore. We have to make the decision within us that we are ready to move forward, to let go of everything we've known and step into this new place. They're saying it is the hardest, the trickiest thing for humans to do is to step into what they don't know, what they don't yet understand. They're showing me an image of the leap of faith, of stepping off the cliff and knowing that you will be caught, that you will be safe, that you will be supported, that you won't fall to your death, but will be caught and carried to this new earth, this new energy, this new that is emerging. This is an important message for you to really take in, to absorb, to understand on all levels of all of your multidimensionality, that this is the way forward. This is the only way that we move forward as a collective. The more that we let go, the more we can let go of the resistance, the more we can let go of the old programs, the paradigms, the conditioning, the old structures, as we know, are crumbling away. So much of 25 will be this year of completion. On a mass scale, we will see a lot of the systems, the structures that have built our collective as we know it today fall away. There will be a lot of unease within the collective feeling over the next 24 months in particular. Many will have this feeling that change is here and on the horizon, even if they don't initially see it straight away, but there will be this sense within all of the collective that it is a big year of upheaval, of change, and it is needed. It is a final shedding of the skin to move into the new. Many light workers went through this in 2024 to be standing on the other side, waiting to welcome more over. So many of us know of this rainbow bridge that has been keeping us here, that we have been helping people. So those that are healers, light workers, coaches, practitioners, helping people. It has been a process of us keeping the rainbow bridge open and people coming over, helping them to cross over. This will continue. Many of the light workers have been standing in the middle of the bridge, able to move between the two worlds that we have spoken about. Many light workers have now chosen to stand in the new earth side, standing here now waiting. They have done their job of being the bridge and being open, and now they are choosing to stand on this side and say, I am here when you come over. So there will be a lot of dismantling of the old, so that the easiest way that we can put this in is it's a pressure cooker situation. More that falls away is the invitation for people to really open their eyes, to see the world as it is, to have their awakening. And when there is pressure, we make a decision. Do we go to the new? Do we stay here? This will be a big collective immersion that happens this year and into next year. People will be coming over. So many of the light worker roles and positions are changing and evolving. You may notice within your business that much has changed and evolved because you are no longer on the bridge needing to help as many come over. You may be here standing here waiting for the people to come over. This is what we mean by it's important to let go. So we all become attached in some way to our roles, to our positions, no matter who we are. It's time to let all of it go, because more and more arises as we emerge into higher frequencies and higher timelines now. One of the other main themes that will play out in this year is there will be a continuation for the voice to become not only authentic, but to stand in our power. Those that have had power and used it in the wrong way will no longer be able to operate in those constraints and forms anymore. Those that have been powerless will rise up, will find their voice, their authenticity, and move from this place of heart-centered power, not from an egotistic or a revenge, but just standing in their power, being heart-led and heart-centered. This will be a big, active, collective movement. More and more of the uprising, more and more truth revealed, more and more coming to a head, because the throat is activating. For many, they will find their voice. They will find the need to speak up, that we cannot simply sit back and not see, not say anything anymore. So much in the collective will come to light. It has to. It is a completion. These practices, these things that have happened in the past and throughout many, many decades, thousands of years, will no longer be able to be kept secret. It is the revealing of much of the darkness to turn it into light. It will be important for the collective to remain very, very centered through this next part of time. Because we have a dismantling of systems, because we have a unease in the air, we have more words in the atmosphere, more that we have to siphon through to understand and go within what is my truth, what resonates, what comes in to my heart, what information do I allow in. This will be very, very important to keep coming back to grounding into your center of who you are, what information you take in, what truths resonate for you the most. So much of what we will go through and these cycles that are completing, it will be so important to keep coming back to your own internal navigation system. As much is revealed, as much comes out, the truth, the authenticity needs to continue. It will help to activate. For many, the third eye is very, very active through this next year. We are starting to see through the distortions. We start to see through more of the disillusions. We start to see that the veil has become so thin between the world that we know it and the other realms that exist around us. Many will start to see more ships in the sky. Many will start to have more interactions with galactic guides, with spirit guides. Seeing the veil will become so thin between the worlds as we start to adjust. More telepathic communication will come online. More teleportation will come online as we move through this very collective energy. And I'm talking about the scales here. So those that are light workers that have been working, doing this for many years, they will be much more advanced than those that are just awakening. We are just showing you the spectrum of what is coming and what is going to be available over this period of time. We initiate and believe that there will be many intergalactic communications and connections with many of the collective within the next 6 months. This may not still be at the collective level that we see extraterrestrials, galactics in a physical form, but we will have a sense, a knowing that we can see beyond the illusions. Many will start to feel and sense their presence more and more and more in the next coming 6 months. Many of these interactions will be across America, across Africa. There will be more and more sightings around the world. There will be more and more things that people start to question. And there will be more and more understanding and knowledge coming with that. This does not come from the old way of reading books or an expert speaking on this, but this comes from an internal. It is an internal switch that turns on for many of us that, yes, this this is truth to me. Yes, this I know and I believe this to be true. We have this innate knowing. Much of that is going to come online over the next 6 months. It's important that we start to understand discernment at a new level. Much of the world of social media and the quick pace of things does not allow us enough time to really take a moment to practice the discernment in the moment. Does this resonate for me? Should I just scroll past? And many of us are getting stuck in this world. Discernment will be a very, very big key. There will still be distortions, disillusions that are shown around the world, that it is important for us to keep coming back to that internal discernment. Does this sit right for me? Does this information sit right for me? Do I understand this at a level? This is going to be very important for us, as we will start to see a lot of trickster energies, programs play out that will make us believe it is of the light, that it is pure, and these things are not. It is important to practice our discernment. Another big element for the year ahead for many is going to be that we need to break out on our own. That for so long we have feared speaking up, that we have feared having our own opinion, and that is going to be very, very important in this coming year, is to be willing to stand on your own, even if everyone else believes something to be true. If it does not resonate for you, if it does not feel right, it feels fishy, you must trust that and be willing to stand on your own, to say, no, something feels off about this. That's going to be a very, very big key moving forward. And it's important to remember this comes because we are moving collectively from the throat chakra up into the third eye. So starting to use all of our psychic senses that we all have and what we have available to us to read, to decipher information and what is coming into our field, and understanding, does this feel right, and be willing to trust that internal over anything else that is being presented to us. The rest of the world, every other single person on the planet could believe something else to be true. And if that does not resonate within your heart, then it is to be able to stand and say, no, that does not resonate for me. This will be a very big part of the empowering energies that are coming in. That we move from a very disempowered, being told what to do, being slaves to the system, moving back into that we are all in our own personal power, and that we all have a understanding and a trust of the internal navigation system, your intuition. You trust that over anything else. And they're saying many of us have had this for a very long time, but we have gone against ourselves time and time again in order to fit in order to not be punished, in for so many situations and so many experiences that we've had. And this is the time that we are coming back into. We are powerful beings, innate beings that have all of this wisdom that we can tap into, that we have an internal system that will tell us yes, no, what is right, what is wrong, where is it? And they're saying as these scales are moving, what we have known in the past, and we have seen the 3D earth as a very black or white situation. We have moved through polarity, dualities. We come into this place now of alignment through 2025 and really understanding not only ourselves, but having a much clearer perspective. They're saying it's like the wool has been taken from our eyes. We start to see the world. We start to understand the amnesia that we all had. We start to understand more of the why things have been the way that they have. We start to have more information that we innately know. This is going to be another big key part and a fundamental part of the dismantling of the old. This is a big year for empowerment of people stepping up, not only just in business, but in life. Women who have been voiceless are stepping up into having a voice. Minorities that have been pushed aside stand up. This is a collective theme that will continue over the next few years. But it also means that it is a very loud and crowded space with many voices all going, all wanting to speak over each other. When we are in that alignment from the heart, we are able, and when the throat is also in alignment, it is not just about us being loud and projecting our voice, but it is hearing. We come back to compassion. We come back to understanding. We come back to that we can have a conversation, a give and take where we both hear and speak. But for much of us, we will experience just a lot of noise. For many, we will need to have more protection on ourselves, and when we are on social media, we will need to make sure we are cocooned. We will need to take time away. A really big thing that will happen is that many people will step away from social media, just no longer able to handle just the bombardment of noise. This is related to artificial intelligence. This is also related to taking energy, to zapping our energy, to zapping our fields, to try to control us, to keep us in a narrative so that we can hold out longer and longer without ascending. So many people, particularly a lot of light workers, even though we use this for business, we use these structures, many will just simply walk away and say, I can't do this anymore. It's too much on my system. It will become much more important that our energy is our biggest value. It is our biggest value. Not our time and money has been something that we have valued. Our energy is going to become our biggest value. Honoring our energy. And if that becomes too much, many will walk away because they just simply will not be able to handle it. There will be new platforms that are much lighter that many will start to move towards, and we will see a decline in numbers and people just not logging in, not wanting to be on that, and wanting to actually start to feel lighter. We are done with a lot of these old programs. The other thing that we would like to really mention, particularly for those that are tuning into this video, is because many of you have been working on yourselves for many years. We are at that point now where you have released many layers. We know that this work will continue over the course of your lifetime. For many, it is now about the work of moving forward, of bringing in more joy, of bringing in more play, bringing in more fun, more light. Not needing to focus so much on the shadow, the wounds, the traumas. you've done that and been through cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles and cleared the generations, you've cleared the past lives. Now it is time to allow yourself to move into this new period where it is discovering your new template. Your new template and where you now reside is now allowing that process and bringing in that into yourself. So for many, this has been, again, another role, another title, another job, another responsibility. And we are now, as we move forward, stepping into this new period and this new time where it is much more about our light and bringing in the lighter aspects of ourselves into our more day-to-day life instead of this work. So this is another transition for many. And they're saying, again, this also relates to the social media world and to the AI world, that many will just say, no, thank you. I'm done with that. It takes my time. It takes my energy. I could be focused over here. I could be in nature. I could be at the beach. I could be surrounded by friends, whatever it is. They're saying things, we will actually want to experience more things than being on our phone. It's time that we are looking up. It's time that we are looking around instead of in our phone. So there will be a big major shift that will happen at some point in the next 12 to 24 months, that many will break away from these old systems because they just feel that it's the energy is too condensing for them, and they'll finally break out of it. Again, it's another program, and it's another belief that we have that we need to be on these platforms all the time. And it is simply an untruth, and many will move away from this in the next period of time. The other thing that we would like to bring through is that much of the ascension symptoms that have been felt for some time over the last few years will start to subside. Many will not have the same reactions that they have had in the past. Many will start to feel more of the euphoric feelings, more of the light, the pillars of light coming in, and codes being activated. So much of the purging is done. Again, we reference, we've moved out of this purge, this healing vortex that we have been in the last few years, and it's time to step into the new lighter versions of ourselves. That's what all this preparation has been for. But again, many will feel this as a familiar platform now. They've come from that very third dimensional way of being, come up and now done all this healing over the last 4 to 6 years, but then are now stuck here because they're not willing to let go of that and what they've known there. They've created community, they've created connections there, they've created jobs and careers through this work, and then don't want to expand into their light because there is a fear of moving into that for themselves, that then they won't be needed here. That is not the case. Many, it is time to move into the light, and that the healing, that the dedication to the healing process is no longer needed. And this is, again, why. It will not be so taxing on the physical body as much now. We'll find things that are much lighter. Things will speed up. You will start to notice over the next coming months that things will start to speed up and ascension will become much, much faster. It will be, you will see the Schumann resonance like spiking week after week after week, but we are able to tolerate the light. We're able to tolerate things in a much different way. There has been much change the last few months of 24 were very dark, very heavy, purging out the last, purging out all of those final pieces to be able to step into this new paradigm that is here being created right now. This is our invitation now to allow this to come in, to allow ourselves to move into this new time now. That is the final message that we have for you today, to just show you, to help you understand what the year ahead and the next 24 months will look like, the period that we are in. We hope that this message has served you well. We hope that you have an understanding and a perspective now to be able to just take the pieces that support you in this understanding and move forward in the collective. We wish you all well. We wish you blessings. Many of you will step into a lot of blessings. It is not something that we have necessarily spoken about today in the collective message, but many will step into levels of abundance, of freedom, of wealth that they have never ever measured before, because those are in those higher timelines. So there is much greatness and happiness for many through this year, even though it is a year of completion and things dismantling. Many will not feel that because they are already in those higher timelines. They have already chosen a higher consciousness. So do not take this as all doom and gloom. There is much to celebrate and be happy about for the time that you are in. We are here to continue to support you. Many of you will start to feel more of a connection to more of your guidance team. Teams will be becoming bigger and bigger to help you as we navigate through the next few years. You can call on your team of light anytime that you need assistance. We are all here to support you through this time. We send you much love now. All right. I'm just going to send deep gratitude for all of the messages, to our Akashic guides for this channeled message coming through, for their wisdom to help us understand this perspective. I'm just going to take a breath, coming back in. I'm just going to close down the Akashic records now. All right. Thank you to all the beings of light for your loving energy and support, and for showing us the way. The Akashic records are now closed. The Akashic records are now closed. The Akashic records are now closed. With my energy returning to me and your energy returning to you, we say thank you. All right, just going to give myself a moment just to come back down after all of that channeling. I hope that this message has helped in some way, just to give you an understanding of what is coming for us in the collective, and the energies that we are moving into. Like I said at the beginning, if you would like a more detailed reading for yourself personally, what's going to come up in the year, please book in a one-on-one session. I will link that below. Or you can also come and learn how to access the Akashic records and do this work for yourself if you come and join the Lightworker Academy, and I'll link that here below. So I would love to hear from you guys. What is your takeaway from today? What's the message that most resonated for you? Let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. And I just want to say just a huge thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support and love. I love this work. I love getting to channel and to bring these messages through. So I'm sending you so much love. Bye for now.